Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope everyone has had a wonderful week. Today is Saturday, January 13th. We are 13 days in to the new year. Isn't that amazing? I mean, just like that, time flies, right? So today I want to make this quick video. I try to recap what we talked about or just give a few highlights to what we talked about during the week. Most of y'all know this was an interesting week for me. I had Honda issues. Um, Not to bore you all with the Honda issues, I really want to highlight some things that I want to point out from this week. So you all know my Honda car is going to be taken care of on Thursday. The field technician is coming out to see about it, right? Um, Glory be to God. God is good. And the consumer advocate and me had to advocate for my own self this week. Thanks be to the Lord that I did get the victory. And they are also giving me a loaner on Monday. So I'll turn my rental car in on Monday and go and pick up my loaner. And I will keep that loaner until they figure out what's going on with that car. And then, we'll take it from there. So that's enough of that. Well, this week we talked about credit card. Now, a few things I want to point out. I want you to hear me say this. Hear my voice. Hear my voice. This is Tamara Latrice Gaucher Bryant speaking. The main thing I want you to understand clearly is a debit card is not a credit card. Now, I know that, and I assume a lot of you all know that. But every now and again, I'll come across someone who actually doesn't recognize that as a fact. So, for instance, I rented a car this week on Thursday because my car is at the shop. And when I call Enterprise, they were like, you need to have a credit card, major credit card. And so what they do is they'll say the word major to kind of help people realize, okay, we need credit cards. We don't need your debit card. Your debit card is connected to your bank, right? So because it's connected to your bank, it is not a major credit card. And then so if you only have $1,000 in your bank account, your bank, depending on the setup, will not allow you to go. It's not going to let you overdraft or do anything else. I mean, the banks are different. Credit cards, most people credit card limit is much higher than what's in their bank account. The average person, the people I know, I would say. So it's a big difference. Also, the use of credit cards, you want to look for, diligently seek credit cards that have bonuses, points. They have incentives for using it, whether it's travel bonus, points, and the points typically equal cash. So, for instance, every month when I use my Capital One credit card that I got from Walmart, I get points back. Those points add up. So I'll let them add up, right? And then when it's time to pay a bill, I'll pay my balance, my statement balance, or the minimum due, whichever one makes sense at that moment. Then I'll say, also, I want you to throw these $45 points on toward my debt as well. So there are points that you can use. Now, you want to kind of research your card. Sometimes your credit card company will offer points if you if you upgrade to a different card, right? So it depends on how you actually work it. So the main thing is, working your credit. The other thing is, especially that this point I want to make to those who have not filed Chapter 7, Chapter 11, Chapter 13, because once you file certain chapters, there are different set of rules that apply. So I'm going to assume that right now, if you're listening, you haven't filed anything. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you haven't filed a Chapter 7, Chapter 11, Chapter 13, and it does apply to some who have, but I want to talk to those who haven't. I've never filed a Chapter 7, Chapter 13, and Chapter. In life, you never know where life is going to take you. So that may be something you have to consider in the future. But as for now, if you haven't done any of that, and you're just living off credit cards or using your credit cards, I want to remind you of how to use your credit cards. Every month, pay the statement balance. So you have a minimum due of $25. Your total balance due is $3,000, but the statement due is $500. If you pay the $500 for most cards, you will not be charged interest. If you pay the statement balance, you will not be charged interest. Sometimes the statement balance and the total balance are equal. So in that case, if you don't pay the total balance, which is also the statement balance, you will pay that interest. The interest rates now, 28% on a lot of cards. I have a card, the lowest interest I have actually right now, and it's like 18%. That's through Navy Federal. So a lot of times people cannot come out of credit card debt because the interest is killing them. They can't. They pay $100 and $90 goes toward the interest, 10 toward the principal, and in that rate, and they'll tell you if you pay the minimum balance, it will take you 28 years to pay off this credit card. You think like, I ain't gonna 28 years. You're talking crazy. No, they're actually giving you the truth. It will take you 28 years if you pay the minimum due. When they'll give you that understatement. There are some people, I was talking to one of my friends today, and she said, you know what? I just didn't open my mail sometimes because I knew it was nothing but bills. I knew I didn't have the money to pay it, and I just did not want to deal with that. So that's the thing too that you want to realize, you want to keep in mind. Open your bills. Don't be afraid, because you know what? Hiding them from yourself is not going to help you, okay? So as far as your credit cards are concerned, try to pay your bill as much as you can, but definitely up to the statement balance every time it's due. Also, if you are having 10 or 12 credit cards, which some people have, they're thinking like, you know what, this is $20 this month. This one right here is a minimum of $30. If the more credit cards you pay per month, the longer it's going to take you to come out of debt. It is better to bring your credit card payments, or bring down, if you're paying on 12 credit cards, you can keep all 12, but just put balances on 3. Because if each creditor, for instance, let's do a regular number, 10. Let's just say you got 10 credit cards, you're paying 10 credit card bills per month. You got 10 credit cards, you're paying 10 bills per month. They all want $50. 50 times 10 is what? 500. 50 times 3 is what? 150. So if you could pay $500 a month, you surely can pay 150, right? So if you give yourself a chance to pay off 3 credit card bills, when you pay off that one, you do the snowball or avalanche effect. So the goal is, I don't care how many cards you have, don't use them all. Like, don't have all of them open. Take 2 or 3 and work it, right? Get your call to ask for a credit line increase. I've been paying on this credit card, it's $1,000 is the limit, but I've been paying on it every month. I pay over the monthly minimum due. I need more room. They'll give it to you. If they don't give it to you in January, call back in July. So those are just the tricks, some of the tricks of the trades. I gave a lot out, and so what I do is I find out that it's easier for us because we are a different type of people. You know, if you see something a certain kind of color and you get used to that, you're kind of expecting that. So I make the post black with the words white. I may change up when I grow up, I don't know. But I make it black and white so that if you're on Instagram or TikTok, you can just look at the black and white stuff, because I also post other things that you may not be interested in. So look at the posts that are black with the white words, and those posts are tips that I'm sharing, that I'm giving, okay? So I just want to kind of put it out there for you that you really want to take control of your credit this year. It's January right now. It's January right now. You can still do it in January and February, but this is the best time to kind of get a hold of your debt, recognize what's going on, update that resume. I did a lot of resume reviews last month, and just, make sure that you're positioning yourself to win, okay? So, again, I talked longer than I wanted to, but I hope that makes sense. But go back through my posts. I keep my page public. Tell your friends, tell your family. I keep it public for a reason. I don't care who sees it, because I want to just help the humans, and it's no charge. But if you actually follow the tips that I give you, I guarantee you will come out of debt. I've done it. Went back into debt, came out again. People who I've given the tips to, they have done it. So, I mean, it works, okay? So, that's all I got regarding credit card tips. Have an amazing evening. If you're in the Chicagoland, sleep with everything on, your thermals, your socks, whatever. It's cold. Disrespectful, right? All right, have a good one.